In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, one God, Amen. If you remember, like about 1.5 months, we talked about the preschool and going through this stage of development can be very challenging to anybody that is not aware of how the child grows and how uh, the kids has to go through certain kind of behaviors and attitudes that match their level of development. So, uh, and today Dr. Rosfat asked me to do it as cases, so everybody can participate and everybody can share the ideas that they have about this age and the problems that are facing. I try to pick up 3 things like that may be common in this age and we may face as servants or as parents, but I try to focus as servants because the interaction of us with the kids in the class is limited, like compared to the parents. But uh, there is no big difference between the role of the parents and the role of the servant. And we have to, as servants, we have to think about it as a chance. God give us a chance to do something, to participate or to share in raising up these kids according to the way that He wants us to do it. So I'd like everybody to share and to give me what do you think about these kind of cases. Sure. Right, around 3 to 6, 3 to 5, around that. Yeah, yeah. So it's kindergarten. They have to be uh, above 5 years old. I think by October they have to be above 5 years old. So this is the official like age for kindergarten. So preschool means pre-kindergarten. So it's like around 5.5, 6, and older than toddlers. Toddlers around like 2 to 3 and so on. So as we said before, this stage is kind of very rich because big development happens, like a peak happens during this period. And as parents and as servants, we have a lot of chances to jump in and do something about like an attitude, about a behavior, about something that definitely we have to do something about it to change, and to change in the proper way that we want it to be. But at the same time, we have to be aware of some of these behaviors are normal stages of development. It's not like that because you're doing that because you're a bad boy, or you're doing that because there's something wrong at home, or you're doing that because he has a problem. No, some of the behaviors and the negative behaviors that we see are related to this is are related to it is a normal stage of development. So this is case 1. Can somebody read loud to us?
Paul has an attitude in the classroom. He's a cute 3-year-old boy who's growing up in a stable house. His parents are always tensed because he has an attitude. He's always fighting over toys with temper tantrums, aggression on the playground or in the classroom.
what do you think about his smile? See? Yeah. So no problem at all. He's doing that, and he's very joyful and cheerful. There is no problem at all. But it can be stressful for the servant that can deal with Paula in the classroom and with the parents that dealing with him every day. So what do you think? What's the problem? Right. Anybody else? Possibly. Yeah. That that's possible. Bored. He has a problem and he can speak up. This is very good. I think all of the answers are true. Uh, it is a normal. He's a normal child. That's normal. But because he's 3 years old, so he's like entering the preschool stage, and at this period, uh, there's a lot of limitations. He has a lot of hopes. He's looking around himself, as we said like 1.5 months ago. This is the age like he's watching everything around him, and he wants to do everything he can put his eye on. So there is a lot. He is like craving for independence. He wants to do a lot of things by himself. Leave me, let me do it by myself. He's like very resistant to his parents or like to give any assistance of his parents. This is the way I want to do it. At the same time, he is doing a lot he wants to do, but he can try to. A lot of things he wants to do. Right. That and he's constantly testing the limits. He wants to see where, until what point I should stop. What will make me, like where I can go on with doing this thing. So he doesn't know the limits. So he's continuously testing and grasping for like getting feedback from the reaction of the others. If that's right, if that's wrong, if I cross the border or not, and so on. So this is very common in this age. And actually, I was describing my son in this case. I think I hope كتر خيرك يعني بصراحة. دي الكيس 2 جابي. uh, can somebody read.
No. Gabby is 5 years old, beautiful girl who is constantly lies. It has gotten to the point where I can't believe a word that comes out of her mouth. As as per her mom, Dina, I have tried every hard to teach her how important telling the truth, but nothing is helping.
She's not. She's normal or she is abnormal. That's a possibility. Yeah. So being harsh on kids sometimes bring an opposite uh, outcome, right? It can be in the form of lying. Yeah, that's a good point. Imagination, very good point. Yeah, definitely. Anybody else? What do you think? Like, what made her like lying all the time like that? And she's resistant to like redirection. Possibly. Yeah. Um, yeah. Yeah. What do you think? Like a friendship? Yeah. This age is like they start to have friends, but uh, communication. So lack of communication between her and her parents. Possibly. يعني very strict. They don't. Oh, so like threatening to punish him about everything. So he's afraid of saying the truth, right? Right. Definitely. Definitely. There may be love, but he, he doesn't feel it. Yeah. He doesn't feel, the kid doesn't feel that you love him. Uh, yeah, you are caring about him and you're doing a lot of things that maybe he's not aware of, but he doesn't receive it as love. We reward them. We reward them when they say the truth. Yeah. Lack of reward. Yeah. The scene. So they are like imitating or yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. Heard. Yeah. One of their friends telling a story about what she did or about an amazing trip or what she did in Disney, and they start to like she wants to have her own story also about what she did in Disney, and that never happened. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's what. Yeah. That's one of the yeah of the main point of lying a lot on this age. So let's see. Why do preschoolers lie? So, as you said, I'm sorry. Jan, زي ميس جيهان said ان هو they don't understand what's the difference, or they don't completely like, comprehend what's the difference between lying and the truth. And what also feeds that problem is that all the time they see movies, they read stories, they watch TV, cartoon. Everything is imagination. Like people can fly, pets can float, and so on. So we still don't know what that story is. We don't know that. So they may say something that somebody did in a story that you know that would never happen. But we don't want to get ahead of something. We don't want to say something that doesn't happen, but we think that this is the way that we should express what happened. Also, they have a problem in their memory. They have a problem in the memory. They have a short memory span. So, for example, like around the age of 2, 3, uh, they forget what happened before. They may forget somebody that they saw a couple of days ago. They don't remember. Later on, they start to remember, but they don't know how long ago was it. Like everything for them is yesterday. Everything happened in the past is yesterday, but they can't tell how far away was it, or like how many days ago. They don't know. And then when their memory starts to develop, they start like to say that happened recently or that happened some time ago, but relatively according to what they can. So the memory they can something happened and they want to express it, but they have gaps, so they want to fill in these gaps, and they may fill it in with what they say, what they see in the cartoon, what they hear from their friends, and so on. Also, wishful thinking. So, for example, something happened to Gaby's brother. He's 2 years old, and she was watching what happened to him, an accident or something, and she couldn't do anything. And that made her feel that guilty, or maybe made her feel that she didn't do something to risk or to help him. And so she can make up a story to say, oh, I went, I helped him, I prevented that from happening, or I somebody gonna hurt him or him, but I was able to rescue him. That never happened. Like, because the wishful thinking, she wished that this, that, that the story would happen, so she feels like that. So, sometimes they just need to feel good. So they, as we said about Disney, she wanted to think of Disney like, oh, Disney is the most fun thing that she can ever do. So she didn't go to Disney yet, so she started to pretend that she went and she met these characters and so on. That was craving craving for attention. Uh, sometimes they lie to make us feel better, to tell us I am here, I am a person, I have a personality, I have an experience, and this is my experience. Or to please us, like to say us, I did something good, I did something fun, I did something amazing. Um, also to have a sense of control. As we said about the wishful thinking, same example can be applied also. Um, she is worried about her brother, and that's why she is pretending that everything was okay, and she was able to prevent that harm from him. So that's why she makes up that. How should we deal with that? So definitely, as you all said, we need to strict, but we need to be thinking about what they say, and like, I'm a judge, and you judge everything that comes out of your mouth. That's not fair at all what they say. Uh, so the best thing is to relax, to enjoy their stories, and at the same time, we encourage them to tell the truth without focusing too much on the negative side, without highlighting it. That never happens. There is no pain force. There is no pain or stuff. That's you are lying. Everything you are saying. So we don't accuse, but at the same time we encourage uh, confession, but not denial. We don't want to get to the point that we scare them. We don't want them to stop telling the truth because they are afraid. If I gonna tell something like that, I know that there is a punishment, so I will never say that again. So we want to avoid that. We have to sympathize with them. So we have to praise everything good that they say, even if it is not a big deal. Like we have to encourage them to tell the truth all the time, even if there's something routine. I brush my teeth today. I made my bed, and so on. We have to praise them even by just positive comment. Doesn't have to be a prize or gift or something like that. But the way of reacting to that should be in a positive way and encouraging way. Uh, I think we are missing. That's fine. Uh, so we always reassure them to tell the truth, and we want to build the trust in order to avoid that they will never say the truth because they are afraid of something. And we want to establish rules in this age. We want to say something like, I witness a certain behavior. For example, she took a cookie out of the plate of another kid, and she said, "No, I didn't." Okay, so um, I don't want to focus too much on that. She said I didn't, but I want to focus on, okay, so next time when you want a cookie, can you please ask the other girl if she is okay for you to take the cookie or not? So I didn't focus too much on that she lied, but I focused on putting rules, setting rules. So next time when she faced the same situation, she's gonna think about it and she's gonna link that situation with what she learned from you, and she's gonna do it next time. We want to help him to understand the difference. So, for example, I can ask them, is this something that actually happened, or this is something that you wish to happen? Uh, the uh, the main thing is we want to tell them we have to say the truth in all situations, because if they don't learn that in this young age, it will be very difficult to teach them that later on, because they're gonna see other kids lying in certain situation, and they it's gonna pass without any problem, and they think that they did the right thing. So next time I'm gonna do like this kid, and I will not say the truth, and I gonna go well without it, like out of it. So I have to focus all the time. We have to say the truth in all situations, in all situations. And I have to teach them that God cares about telling the truth. God cares about telling the truth. And we can link a lot of situations like Hanania or Safira or something like that, that no, this is a big deal. This is a big deal. Not to frighten them, but to tell them that this is what God wants us to do, and He's going to handle the situation, even if there are bad consequences about telling the truth. But I did the right thing, and God going to help me with the consequences. Of course, like as teachers and parents, we have to set a model, because if we do all of these things and they saw us once or twice that we are not telling the truth, um, that will damage the whole process. So we have to start from ourselves, and sometimes this is the way that God deal with us through these kids to to teach us like that we have to say the truth. Uh, so one of the ways of salvation that God put in our life is the service, or being a parent. Dealing with the kids is going to teach us a lot more than what we can imagine. What do you want? No, no, okay, معلش. Where is mama? Hmm? انا ما كنتش عايز اديها التليفون عشان هي قالت ان اخوها مع التليفون فلازم هي يبقى معاها التليفون. This is the third one, and this is kind of a tough one. So I want somebody to help to read. It's a long one, but can anybody help us to read it? Sarah. Just read it.
The whole thing? Andrew is a 5 years old who is difficult since his earliest breath. His mom said he was hard to feed, hard to put to in the crib to sleep. Now he gets out of his bed all night long. He resists to be told what to do, not occasionally, but every day, all the time. Sometimes refuses to wear anything but the color blue. He throws a fit when it's time to leave preschool daycare and refuses to sit in his car seat because he wants to be in the adult seat. He refuses to eat bread with crust. He clings to a toy like it's the last one on earth when his sister wants to play with it. He nearly made the doctor cry more that day and had to reschedule that appointment. Sometimes he acts out new things and shouts at YouTube. He doesn't have a
Yeah. So yeah, definitely it's a disaster. This is do you know there is a very famous term that we call this kind of kids. There is a very famous like series of books talked about these kind of kids. Uh, Anybody can guess what they call? There is like kind of description or a term that they describe these kids. I think it's five. So they call these kids strong-willed children, strong-willed, and yeah, like yeah, there is yeah, there is also sometimes they call them stubborn kids or difficult kids, uh, but a lot of like books talked about this in terms of strong will. Strong will means that they have a strong will and they're gonna get what they want, whatever the parent say or do or whatever. Like for example, there's the New Strong Will Child book from James Dobson. This is a very famous book. He put an example in the book about uh, mom took her, I think she was a girl in a restaurant, and the girl wants a certain type of food, which her mom saw that no, this is not a good dinner for you, not a good lunch. You have to pick up something different. So because she is a strong-willed child, she could hold her breath until she became blue in order to get what she wants. So to see how resistant is the kid can be in order to get what they want, and finally the mom get her what she because she's like scared, like she's gonna kill herself. So they are very tough, very very difficult, and they need a lot of first praise. Uh, but the good news, these type of kids is perfect leaders in the future. They are very difficult to to go with the peer pressure. They resist peer pressure because they have their own thoughts. So it's not easy for them to go behind a friend that do drugs or do something that we know that is not right. So it's very difficult for them to get attracted to their friends if they are doing something. So let's talk more about these kids. So we thought that they are spirited and courageous. They want to learn things for themselves, by themselves, uh, rather than accepting what others say. So if I tell them I don't touch stuff that's too hot, they're very upset. I'm gonna go and try it. He wants to try it. If you hold it in both hands, then it will become your right hand. Right, right. We want that because they are, we want to be competing with them very early in the game. If the God would have one that they start to be behind with the death, this is definitely this is what we say about mental being. You need to seek help of professionals or whether it's something that definitely having to do a plan, eat better, definitely if they wanna want to try everything by themselves and they don't listen to it, they don't want to learn new things, then it will be very hard. But with the strong will child, they are small. You don't let that happen. They wash everything, they dress everything. At the same time, if their brain has decided to take a decision, it's very difficult to switch to that. So they want desperately to be in charge of themselves and we sometimes put their desire to be right about everything else, about whatever my servant will say to me, whatever my parent will say to me, I'm going to do that. When their heart is set on something, the brain seems to have hard time switching gears. Strong willed kids are challenging as they are raised. Uh, Strong willed children often grow up to develop strong character and confident leadership. The best news, as we said, is they will. This is like sometimes shocking to parents, but that's the truth. We're gonna start to change around the group, not earlier. Yeah, Um, so I gave him some kind of freedom. If the strong-willed child doesn't feel that way, definitely he's gonna react in an opposite way that I don't want to deal with, because it's gonna be very oppositional and very defined, and the consequences will not be not it will not be a nice situation. So I have to know exactly what does he need and how to give him that, but with limits. So it's very important to be specific and thorough about the rules and the expectations. That uh, makes the strong-willed child know what I expect. So, for example, some of the things that they put in the classrooms and like the schools, like something like keep hands and feet to yourself, uh, something. So when he see these kind of labels all the time, he knows exactly that these are the rules. So I'm following the rules. I'm not doing something, or I'm not forced to do something that doesn't apply to others. We have to be consistent with our rules. As I said, like I can't give him a candy because he answered this time, and next time he answers and he didn't receive a candy, so I will never answer you again. So I have to put these things in my mind. Pick up or pick your battles to uh, to give him a chance, like uh, to to uh, to feel that I'm not like standing in front of him watching what he's gonna do wrong, and I'm gonna punish him because of that. I want to give him something, but I'm gonna pick few things that I'm gonna comment on. I'm gonna talk with him about, but I can't argue with him about everything that he's doing. And I have to be brief when I instruct him, or when I try to correct him, and I have to be clear about what I want from him, because otherwise I'm gonna lose him. You're gonna do something else, and you're gonna leave me talking forever. I have to save his face. I can't do all of this like redirection in front of everybody. I have to respect him. I have to respect his emotions. I have to have a private conversation with him. Sometimes I can say something in the middle of the class, but if it is specifically addressing something that he did and was um, disruptive in a way, it's better to talk with him after the class in private. Uh, I have to find a way to do it in a sense with a sense of humor. I can be uh, like uh, show an anger or show that he made me mad or that what you did is like made me lose control. That's one of the problems with parents. So because the kid gonna learn how to irritate you or how to press your button. You're gonna know exactly what made you mad, and you're gonna repeat it over and over and over. So losing your humor or dealing with anger and shouting and yelling, definitely they're gonna produce an opposite outcome. No problem in apologizing if I did something wrong or if I ignored him when he answered a question and I didn't reward him as usual. I can apologize to him. That's gonna definitely be better than him saying I will never answer your questions again. Be always on their team. Our mission here is uh, not to highlight what they do wrong. No, I'm in your side. I'm in your team. I'm gonna help you. I'm here to represent Christ, who came to us to help us, who find his people scattered without any shepherd, and he collected them under his arms. So this is what I'm here to do. So finally, I want to highlight a rule in dealing with these kind of kids, or like in this age group. It is all about not about behavior. We don't want to focus all the time about what they did wrong, what they did wrong. That's not the goal. In psychotherapy, they focus on three things: um, ABC. Uh, I think A was something like that happens before the action, like what led to the action. I forgot the term, but B was behavior. The behavior, what the kid did say, and the C is the consequences. What happened after the kid do that? Like for example, uh, Mark came to the classroom today, and he started to push Paula, who was sitting beside him, and he made Paula cry. And then the servant saw that, and right away punished Mark about what he did. Uh, what we want to focus on is this his attitude all the time, or that's something that happened once? So if it happened once only, what happened? Why he did that? Um, maybe Paula did something to him earlier that I didn't see, or maybe he had a bad day. like in at home or at school or whatever. So I don't want to judge, or all of my judgment like focus on the behavior that he did, what he did wrong. He hit the other kid and forget about all the other things. But definitely, I have also to be fair. Like I can't let him go with it. So it needs a lot of wisdom, and definitely uh, uh, prayers is very important. So if I have a difficult kid that's very difficult to deal with, and I personally experienced that. Uh, I know that we don't have time, but quickly, I had a very tough kid in my church in Egypt, and I remember him. Uh, he was like يعني عيل غتت عيل غتت يعني without any reason, يعني يعرف ازاي يستفزك. He knows how to make you angry, and he wasn't responding to anything, and I I was puzzled all the time why he do that to me. I didn't do anything wrong to him, but because I got very frustrated, and he was a deacon and I was a deacon, and that happened more than once in front of everybody, and I was very upset. So anyway, I prayed that God do something about that. Like maybe يعني, it didn't work out to talk with him, didn't work out to tell him why you are doing that, and I don't think he had an answer. Like at that time, why he's doing that, I don't know. But God made something that I can't forget, and I think yeah, it was a very good experience to me. What happened is that we went to a convention, and he wasn't in my class, and for some reason his servant didn't go or didn't stay with them in the same class, and I had to go to stay with them in the same room, and it was a great chance for me to know him better, and for him to know me better, and it changed completely the story. He was very close to me, and till now we are in connection. He's in Canada. He's a pharmacist, and he just got married. But I was very happy with this experience, because when you pray about something, especially if you um, uh, my motivation was that I was very upset, but even if that was the motivation, but God gonna do something to prove to you that He can change difficult kids. He can do something to change difficult kids, and through this relationship, I learned a lot about how to deal with these kids, and it was an amazing experience. So don't underestimate prayers under any circumstance. This should be number one, and that can solve everything. uh, like that can make it very easy. يعني زي ما أيوب بيقول يعني الآن يعني بسمع الأذن سمعت عنك، والآن قد رأت عيناي، يعني لا يعثر عليك أمر. It's true.
It is so amazing that really 3, 4, 5, 6 months or more research, God gave us the blessing that we took it in about less than 1 hour. Thank God. Thank you, Dr. Fadi, for the great effort, and God bless. If we can stand up and pray, please.